Minus 60 seconds.
Best recorders, high speed. Check all batteries.
Minus 50. Armed.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Your go
4,
for APU shutdown on time.
2, 1, liftoff.
Go at throttle up.
Go ahead, throttle up.
Still on its way to orbit after a successful ascent up through main engine cutoff.
Houston, 20 seconds to LOS TDRIS.
Roger, nice to be in orbit.
This is Escape Pod, part of the Outbreak Podcasting Network. Visit our website at outbreakpodcast.com. And now here's your hosts, Tony Brown and David Anthony.
Can I do the thing?
Yes, you can do the thing. Okay. Because we had a problem one time with some syncing issues. And I was
gotcha.
like 6 hours trying to sync.
Wow, that's a long time to sync.
Yeah. So it was not bad because I didn't do the clap thing or anything. It was not pretty.
Live and learn.
I did it.
Yes, you did.
I need a raise now. It's one more thing I'm doing.
Yeah, I think so. Right. Yeah. Okay. So
Zero on top of zero.
Double what I'm paying.
Double that zero. It's just like independent film. It's great.
It is.
I'll get a credit for it somewhere.
You got your name right there.
See, that works.
See, Tony Brown. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys ready?
Sure. Oh, you mean we haven't started yet?
No, we're recording, but we haven't.
Okay,
started.
gotcha.
I'll make some edits. A few. Ready?
I'm not going to touch my water bottle.
You can. Tell you what. Oh, you need to.
You know what's going to happen?
No.
Okay.
Now I'm scared. Don't touch your water bottle. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Escape Pod.
And I'm going to drink water on purpose. Ha ha. And I'm Tony Brown.
And I'm David. These are the fun ones. Hey, Tony, guess who got with us?
Cindy Maples.
We do. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for asking me.
Independent everything lady.
There you go. That's going to be my new on my new
everything.
business card. Independent everything.
Yeah, well, she's an actress.
Writer.
And director.
Production house owner.
Yeah.
See?
It's a very technical term right there.
Carriage House Productions, right?
Correct.
All
yes. Right. It comes from the fact that we owned an old house in Evansville that had a carriage house, and that's where I put my studio. So we called it carriage. We've since moved across the river to Henderson.
Right.
So now I'm a Kentucky filmmaker, and there's no carriage house. But Basement Productions didn't really sound as good.
Doesn't have a good ring to it.
Doesn't have really.
That might get the police called on
It
you,
might,
too.
yeah.
Hey, look,
What are you doing in the basement?
I'm making special films here.
But Henderson, though, that's...
It's close to you guys. It's much closer for me to get over to Owensboro now. So it's awesome.
Well, I appreciate you driving over today and doing this.
No problem.
Awesome.
I love Owensboro. I'm here a lot. So.
Yeah. Well, I first met you. You were working on a movie.
I was. Imagine that.
Imagine that. You were acting in one of PJ's and Eric's their Blood Moon Productions movie of Volumes of Blood horror stories.
I was.
Yeah.
Yes. That was like, what, 2 years ago? Right? Yeah, it was the 2015 when we shot it.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. It's something like that, yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah, because it came out last October, yeah. So,
yeah. So, and then
we met on set, yes.
Yeah, and then we got and then the new one, which is the one you're in, it comes out.
No, that is the one that's coming. That I wasn't in the first one. That was the second one.
Right.
Yeah, Horror Stories.
Stories.
Yes.
Yeah, and you were that's coming out the 1st of
August 1st. Yeah. So exciting! DVD and Blu-ray release.
Yeah. I'm getting it on Blu-ray. Stuff. Yeah, we even actually have a couple of some of the extras on the disc or produced form.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I have my T-shirt on today.
You do.
Yeah.
It just came in the mail yesterday, and I'm like, well, I guess I know I'm wearing tomorrow night. Yeah, so I figured they'd let me back into Owensboro if they were like, oh, well, she works with PJ. He owns the town. Let her in.
PJ and Eric, I'm sure, will greatly appreciate it.
They will. They absolutely will.
They will.
They're good guys.
They are actually. They've been on our podcast several times. But let's go back to where you got started. What got you the acting bug, and how long have you been doing this?
Well, I got the acting bug actually in about 6th grade. I had a teacher. I was pretty shy. I know that's really hard to believe this day and age.
Not fooling anyone.
I know, right? But I was really shy as a kid, and I had a teacher who did speech competitions when I got into 6th grade, and she encouraged me to do speech competitions. And the very first thing I did was Noah's Ark by Bill Cosby. It's a great little skit.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a duo type thing. You know, you had to have 2 people for it, one to play God and one to play Noah. And then the second one I did, which it felt like I did it for years, was Who's on First. So again, it was a duo type thing, but loved Who's on First. By 8th grade, I started to realize that the people that were winning first in the competitions were solos doing really dramatic stuff. So in 8th grade, I wound up doing The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I finally won a freaking trophy. I'm like, good Lord. And also when I fell in love with that Edgar Allan Poe. So, yeah.
Amazing.
So that's where I started. And then high school, did some play stuff. And college took acting, but concentrated on radio and television. And then I was raising my daughter, so I kind of stepped away from doing that and just lived my life. And met my current husband, Rusty James, and he was really involved in community theater. And I was like, wow, I miss that. I miss it a lot. So I went and started auditioning and started getting parts. And then we moved to Evansville. And so the first thing we did was find the Civic Theater, and we started auditioning, and he started getting parts, and I didn't. But finally I did get one. And actually the very first one that I did there had a guest director. And he's like, I know these people down in Madisonville, Kentucky, and they're getting ready to do a couple of horror films, and you should go audition. He was like, I think you'd be really good for that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, gave me their names and went down and auditioned for PJ Woodside and Steve Hudgens, and kind of the rest is history. Got cast in Widow, which was the first thing I ever did. As the lead, I was scared to death. I didn't know what I was doing. Oh my gosh. I go back and I watch that now, and I'm like, I didn't have a clue. I just didn't have a clue.
But you made it through it. I mean, and you did.
I did. And I got noticed, immediately. Fright Night Film Fest actually had me up for a nomination for Best Actress that year. So we went. So first year of film being out, we went to Fright Night Film Fest, sat right behind Linda Blair, which was the most amazing thing ever.
Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even realize who it was, and she turned around, and I'm like, oh my God, that's Linda Blair. And so the rest of the night,
did she turn around, or did just
it was just her head? It was amazing. The head just flipped. Every time I tell that story, I get the same joke. I'm going to start beating people to the punch and just doing that.
Was she up for the same award?
No, they were honoring her. Yeah.
They're trying to give you the evil eye. Like, you better not beat me, woman.
You better not beat me. I didn't win. So, but it was really cool, and it gave me the confidence to kind of keep going. So, and I am still going.
You are still going.
I am still going.
Those movies were fun. Yeah, we did some stuff with.
That's what you said, that you worked on Hellisfull.
Yeah, we did. I think I was on screen for a total 30 seconds, maybe.
Were you in the hospital?
We were in the hospital.
That's why you just look so familiar.
I was sitting in the hospital, and my wife was arguing with the counter worker or whatever.
Right.
So, it was fun just being there, because that was our first experience with anything to do with movies. And we went downstairs, and Steve was shooting a scene, and I never realized how many takes over and over. And it was funny because at the end of it, by the time he was done, I knew his line, because he had said it so many times. So I was kind of off in the back just mouthing it with him. I was like, this is what he's going to say.
It's one of those things you learn in film the more you do it, is that a lot of times you do kind of learn your lines on set because you do them so many times.
I just never realized it was, and it was such a little thing that I never caught it until he would stop the scene. And then I realized later why he stopped it, because there was a noise off in the background that totally just ruined the scene. And I didn't realize that until we worked with those guys on Spirit Stalkers, and I helped out on sound.
Right.
And once I had the sound headphones
and
on
you can
and
hear
everything, then I was like, oh yeah, now I'm understanding why they're stopping, because something that you wouldn't think would matter is actually so loud.
Yeah, like I'm sitting here right now and I can hear that ceiling fan just as plain as day, and I'm thinking, wow, that would drive somebody crazy. A sound person, they'd lose their mind.
Most of that washes out in the post-production.
There you go. But it was a blast. Although I think you got off a little bit easier than I did because I had to make believe have sex with Steve for about 4 hours. So you totally got off easy on that shoot. But it was. We had so much fun. No, but we just couldn't get the shot right. It was just one of those things that no matter what we were trying, it just wasn't working. So I got really good at taking his belt off though. I actually threw it across the room at one point in time and hit James Gibbs. Or no, I'm sorry, Mark. Mark was helping out on that one. He was down on the floor with the boom mic, and I ripped the belt off and flung it across the room and hit him right in the head.
That's so funny. Now, when you do something like that, a scene like that, wasn't any nudity in that?
No,
but it was.
We kept our clothes on.
But you have to. I guess the scene is basically you're setting up the mood so people get the idea that that's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
And is that?
And it was a quickie. He was just home for a couple of seconds, and you should watch it sometime. It is one of the funniest scenes in the movie. My character is like the worst person, I think. The way she winds up getting, the zombie viruses because apparently she has some way too much sex. But my boyfriend is actually there and is hiding in the closet when my husband comes back home. Steve was playing my husband. My real husband in real life was playing the guy I was having an affair with who was in the closet naked. So, it's
quite funny.
Yeah, it is a pretty funny scene. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But anyway, that's how I got the zombie virus, is by sleeping with Steve Hudgens. So, women, be warned. Steve is going to kill me when he hears it. Steve, don't listen to this.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Steve has zombie AIDS.
He's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
I love you, Steve.
You know what? You give him a good shout out, right?
Right, exactly.
There you go.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So you worked.
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We were talking about you going down and working on some movies.
Right. Let's not say going down. This isn't rated PG-13 or anything, is it?
No.
Okay.
You can cuss. You can say whatever you want.
Good, because we already crossed that line.
So you were with this production company.
Big Biting Pig Productions. We probably should say the name.
There you go.
Yeah, that probably helped. Yeah.
And how many movies did you end up doing with them?
I've done 4 with them now. I did 3 almost like in a row. I did Widow, Hellisfull, and then I did the Creepydoll, which is like taken off on Amazon Prime. It's been viewed over 700,000 times. It's just amazing how that one's just taken off.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then I kind of, took a break and decided to go work with other people and see who else was doing things, and just went back 2015, I guess it was. We shot It Lives in the Attic, the last movie they just had come out last year. It Lives in the Attic. I had a really little part in that. They put a call out for people, and I'm like, hey, I'd like to come play, They're like, okay, we're gonna let you just run around and get chopped up by a chainsaw. I'm like, cool.
Heck yeah.
That's the role I want right there. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's awesome. So yeah, I love this guys.
Now, do you obviously you have the acting bug, I guess,
Yes.
as it were.
I might have the virus. It might be a little bit more serious than a bug at this point.
So is it? Do you have to audition a lot?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. I still audition. I'm actually auditioning for something here in Owensboro on Saturday. But yeah, I audition a lot. It's like people are like, "Oh, you do so much." I'm like, if you saw how many times I had to audition and don't get things,
Right,
it happens to everybody. If you're not right for the part, you're not right for the part.
So you don't necessarily get a bye if you know the people that are making film. They still make you go in. And
yes.
Just because I guess every role is so different.
I mean, some do and some don't. I mean, Steve and PJ are like, yeah, cool, come, play a role, And Volumes of Blood, PJ and I had actually been trying to work together for years. It was ridiculous how many scripts he'd sent to me, and we tried to work it out. He actually had asked me to be in the first Volumes of Blood, but when he was getting ready to do it, I was already scheduled on 2 different shoots, and I just couldn't. There was just no way to work it out.
Right.
So luckily for me, he asked me to come back again. So I didn't actually have to audition for Volumes of Blood. He just like, I've got this part, and I would love you for it, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Because the part was actually named for his grandmother, who got him involved in horror movies. So to me, it was like, oh, that's awesome.
Well,
you think of me as your grandmother.
I've seen your performance in that from behind the scenes, and of course, actually the completed film.
Right.
And you did a great job.
Well, thank you.
You really was.
I appreciate it.
It was awesome.
Thank you. It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it was long days, but it was really fun, though.
But yeah, that's the one thing about doing that kind of work. I mean, are most of the movies, I mean, that you work on, where you have like the weekend type shoots, or do you
most of the time?
Okay, so. Yeah,
I mean, occasionally I'll have to do something during the week. The one that I actually was working on that I couldn't do the first Volumes of Blood, it's called Bethlehem. It's a dark comedy about a family at Christmas time, and it's hilarious. But I had to go up to Indy, and he was shooting it. It's a comedian out of LA named Michael Malone that had written and directed it, and he kind of had this farmhouse that was his father-in-law's farmhouse, and it's like, we got it for a week, so we basically had 5 days to get this feature shot. So we just all kind of lived in that house for 5 days. We kind of were a family by the time it was done.
You said
but
had to get through it.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a couple instances where I just got finished going to Pennsylvania to work with Zane and Justin Seaman and Zane Hirschberger, who did my segment in Volumes of Blood. They directed the segment for they did The Barn, which is such an awesome movie. Could go on forever about that. But they're working on a new film called 1031 for Rocky Gray, who did some of the music in Volumes of Blood horror stories. So they had a segment that they're doing. Justin directed this one. It's called The Old Hag,
Nice.
and I don't play the old hag. I would just like
you
to
couldn't
point that out.
they had to have a lot of makeup. So
they had a good. It's such a great script, and I wish I could talk about it, but I really can't.
You don't want to give it away.
No, but it's going to scare the crap out of people, is all I'm going to say. Yeah. So, and Zane also has a segment that he'll be directing too. So that was great. So I had to take some time off, and it was longer than a weekend.
Right.
Because we learned on, horror stories that 2 days will kill you. So we took 3,
Yeah, 3. Coming all in 3. So any of the, I guess when you audition, if you don't audition for anything that has taken you, I guess, out of this local area, or if you try and keep within your reach?
Yeah, I've never had to go very far. I think the farthest away I've been is it's about 3.5 hours to Muscatatuck, which is around North Vernon, Indiana, and that was for a Nat Geo, National Geographic Channel show.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really fun, but that's about the farthest away I've really had to go. Louisville and St. Louis and that area, and I haven't ever done anything in Nashville, but I would probably go that far. It's pretty close. So,
it's not too. It's not too bad. A couple hours.
So yeah.
Well, there seems to be a whole lot of activity with movie making, and are we the Midwest here? Or
yeah,
some
I
people
guess
say
exactly.
we're the
The
South.
heartland. I don't know what they want to call it. Yeah.
But I just noticed, like, over the last 5 years, there just seems to be a lot more filmmakers making stuff locally,
I agree.
regionally around here.
Absolutely. It's like when I started, back when I was doing Widow, we shot it in 2008. And there were hardly anybody doing things like that. I mean, I thought it was really rare to find somebody that was making a horror movie, which is what I thought it was so cool. It's like, yeah, let's go make a horror movie. That sounds like fun, And I look back now and I think PJ Starks, I know, was working on All Hallows Eve around that same time period too, but I don't know many others in this area. So, I mean, within the last 9 years, it's just exploded. It's just amazing. Yeah. But, the technology has become so much cheaper, to be able to create films, and everybody's got a camera. They carry it around in their back pocket or their purse. So, I mean, I've seen films,
shot
done
on iPhone 7.
And It's amazing. Yeah.
My phone does 4K, so there you go.
There you go, right? So, yeah, anybody can be a filmmaker these days, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, we thought it was really strange because, I grew up, in Florida and lived for years in Indianapolis and never came across an opportunity to get involved in horror movies or film at all. Mm-hmm. And then we moved here, and then, we found Steve and PJ, and I was like, really? Madisonville, Kentucky?
Right.
Like, people making horror movies? That's crazy.
That's what that director told me, to go down to Madisonville, Kentucky. I had to look it up. I'm like, what? Where's Madisonville, Kentucky? And then I get there, and I'm like, they're making movies in this little town?
Like
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now, everybody's doing it. It's great.
Yeah,
Great.
it is. So,
It helps me when I get ready to make one. I start making phone calls.
Hey,
what are you doing this weekend?
What kind of work you got for me? There you go. So you've been like acting for a while now.
Yes.
So have you got anything? I guess any. Well, let's not just your acting, but let's go into you have your production company.
Right.
So what kind of things have you done with your production company so far, and what's in the future for that?
The first thing that I actually produced was, and it's not under Carriage House just because Carriage House really didn't exist at the time.
Right.
But the first thing I produced was a short film called The Telemarketer. Can't even remember what year that was, but it's been a while. Basically, an author out of the New Albany area sent me a script. It was for a short film, and it was hilarious, and I loved it, and it had a great part in it for me, which I'm an actress. It's always, you go, oh, that's a great part for me, So I'm like, he didn't know anything about how to get it made. I mean, he had made some stuff, just very low key, didn't really know the production side of things. And he wanted it, made into a film and asked me if I could help him. So I'm like, man, I don't know how to do that, but I think I can figure it out. So I did,
awesome.
So I just started making phone calls and found a director and, a crew, and we made it. It's horrible. I mean, when I look back at it now, I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever done. But it was funny. It was an 8-minute joke is what it was, but when I look back at it now, I'm like, oh, I could have done things so much better. But it was a learning experience.
You gotta start somewhere. Everybody does.
You absolutely do. But since then, I produced A Wedding Like That with Neil Keelan and Louis Chaney.
Yes.
And that's a Mark Dessauer. He had written it. He went to them. He sent it to me and had me read the script and everything, and asked me if I'd help him produce it and if I'd play his wife in it. And then he had Louis and Neil actually direct it. So
that's fantastic.
So that is actually it is. This is the first thing that I did as a producer under Carriage House Productions.
Nice.
So, and then I did Random, which was my first film that I actually produced and direct and wrote and starred in and did all that good stuff. And it's gone on to win all kinds of awards for me, which was awesome. It's like I had done all these movies and never won an award, and then I wrote, direct, starred in, and birthed this little 7-minute film, and all of a sudden I'm winning awards, and I was like, I should have done that a long time ago. Heck, if that's what you got to do,
awesome, that just makes that much more
it
sense.
Does. It does.
That's completely your baby.
It is. That will always be my baby. That Random will, and it's still out there going. I actually put it to bed. It had run the festival circuit, and I was kind of done with it. And then it started getting noticed again, and I wasn't really doing it, so it's come back to life. It's actually, along with Out of My Mind, which is the latest one that I did. Mm-hmm. Well, not the latest, because I just did one this past week. But Out of My Mind, which is currently out on the festival circuit. Neil actually assistant directed on that one for me, and Louis did lights for me. So
nice.
So that one is currently out there, but it's now Random is kind of following along with it. So now I have 2 little short films that are they're both going to Las Vegas in August to the Action on Film Festival, and then September they are both going to the Louisville International Festival of Film.
That's awesome. Well, good luck.
Yeah. So they're both out there.
So when you, sorry, David.
No, you first.
When you shoot,
don't fight, boys. There's enough of me to go around.
When you do shorts, do you do them with the mindset that this could lead to a full-length film, or is it
Never.
Is it kind of like a poem? It's just this is all I need is just this short amount of time to say what I need to say.
Exactly. I don't know. I like short films. When I go to film festivals, I watch short films because my attention span is horrible for one thing, and I love the challenge of telling a story as fast as I can, and a lot of movies that are feature length are just filled with a bunch of bullshit that doesn't need to be there.
A lot of filler.
Yeah, it's like if it doesn't progress the story, it doesn't need to be there. So for me, if I can tell my story in 7 minutes, or without my mind, it was like 15 minutes. The one I just sent out this week is 2 minutes. That was a challenge to come up with a film for 2 minutes. I mean, it's tough.
And actually say something in it.
Yeah, and have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Which but then you think about it. People do it every day in 30 seconds. It's called a commercial. So, so 2 minutes shouldn't be that tough. So, I enjoy short films, but I don't know. Someday I would love to do a feature. It might kill me, but but it would be fun. But, in this day and age, there's so many anthologies out there, which is awesome, for somebody like me, because I can hit pause after one story and go run around for a while and then come back and watch another story. Right. But those are just a bunch of short stories, a bunch of short films. So, which is awesome.
So,
I don't know if I answered your question.
Totally, you did. Yeah, okay. I was always curious because a lot of people make shorts, and I was just always curious: is it almost like a pilot for this whole movie that I want to get made? I just want to put this out there to get people curious.
It's not for me, but I know a lot of people do. I know for me, I don't think I'm ready to do a feature film. That's a lot of commitment, a lot of work, and I don't think I'm ready for that yet. So I'm still cutting my teeth and learning. I learn something new every time I do something. So for me, short films are the best way to do that. Because if you make a mistake, it's a short mistake versus an hour and a half mistake that you've spent $20,000 on.
And I think it makes sense too with I'm gonna make myself sound old, but younger generation. I mean, it seems their attention spans get shorter and shorter and shorter. With
they're on YouTube all the time. That's all they do is watch YouTube.
So. What did you say? Something, Tony?
Exactly. So the whole meme thing. People, kids are living their lives in these 2-second blurbs.
Exactly.
And that's all they need. So
exactly.
When I used to come home from school, I would sit and watch cartoons for hours or a TV show after school.
Yeah, me too.
Whatever. Yeah. My daughter.
That was the highlight of my day. Is coming home.
YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's wrong with you? She's like, shut up, Dad. I'm watching my favorite YouTuber. What? And now we're on YouTube. So, imagine that.
So it makes sense to watch YouTube.
It does. You should watch YouTube all the time. I'm on YouTube too.
Exactly. There you are. Exactly. Exactly. So you should also subscribe to our podcast and Cindy's podcast.
Plugs.
Exactly. The Outbreak podcast.
This message was brought to you by the Escape Pod and Carriage House Productions.
Exactly.
We now take you back to your regularly scheduled program.
So my question was...
Oh, hey, wait. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, David.
I mean, thanks, Tony. I got this. So my question is: so your shorts that you have done, already have done, what's the end game for that? So is it something would you release it as a YouTube video where anybody can watch it, or you try and monetize that, or what?
I monetize them on YouTube, but nobody watches them, so it doesn't really matter. They just get annoyed by the commercials, so I win.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't have to.
Yeah, there is no end game for me as far as doing it. I love it, and it's in my blood, and so I do it for me. If nobody ever watches them, I don't care.
Well, they should watch them because they're good.
The 2-minute one I just did, there is an end game for that because it's obviously entered into a contest that could possibly send me to LA.
The Annabelle.
Yeah,
kind of the take on it. We just watched that.
Well, that was nice of you guys.
We're we gotta watch this one.
Yeah, it's only 2 minutes. Surely we can sit through that.
That is not it at all. We just knew it was new, and I figured we would be talking about it today. So we figured, hey, let's watch it. So
So July 7th, I'm friends with James Wan on Facebook because I worship the ground that he walks on. I think he's amazing.
He is amazing.
Dead Silence is like my favorite movie ever. So anyway, he posts this contest, and I see it at like 9 o'clock at night. So my brain just starts going crazy. I'm just like, oh, I can do this 2 minutes. I can do this. This is easy. So I go to bed and it's still in my head, About 11:30, I get up and I write the script. So about midnight, I'm, messaging people. I've written the script. I know who the cast is. I've got a location. All I need is you. So, shot it the next weekend.
wow.
And edited it in a couple of days and sent it off. And
So you submitted it to the contest?
I submitted it to the contest. So the winner gets to go to LA and meet with David Sandberg and somebody from New Line Cinema. So, well, I mean, it's all because David Sandberg and James Wan, that's how they got started with short films.
Yeah.
So, David Sandberg is Lights Out, which the short is so good.
It is.
Anyway, and he's directing the new Annabelle creation movie.
Right.
So it's in, support of that movie. So,
That's awesome.
And I had a good idea, or at least I thought it was a good idea. So.
You did. It was really good. We both enjoyed it and didn't see the little.
You didn't see it coming?
No. So we don't.
You can talk about it. It's up there. Anybody can see it.
We don't want to spoil it for anybody. It's worth watching.
It is worth
Go
watching.
watch it.
Definitely watch it for yourself. And I'll have links to it in our show notes. At the bottom of our YouTube video, you guys go down there and click and scroll and click on that and watch and like it and subscribe to her.
Vote
like
for
it
it.
a lot. Exactly.
So for 2 minutes of
and
film.
this segment was brought to you by Annabelle Creation.
I can't wait to see that movie too.
Yeah, right.
So for 2 minutes of film, you spent over a week just preparing and writing and filming.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you boil it all down, well, with the lack of sleep, it was probably 4 or 5 days.
So there's 3 people in, including yourself, right?
Right.
So who else is in it?
Well, there's 3 total. Yeah, me, my husband Rusty James, who is in everything that I do because he's free and he's right there, and he's probably one of the best actors in the area. So
he did get to make out with you too.
Yeah, that's
Lucky
right.
guy.
That's right. He sleeps with the director, so he always gets to get put in these. And then Bobette Riles, who is a local to Evansville. She was a supermodel at one point in time, and she's gorgeous.
Yep.
I told Rusty, and if you watch this will make more sense. I told him that he was definitely coming out ahead in this when it all ended. So.
Whatever. You're beautiful. So
she was. Well, thank you. But she was very kind and came and lent her talents to us.
Yeah. It was very good. Like I said, it was edited well, shot well, and I think you have a good shot.
Well, I've watched every single person's video that's been submitted, which is a lot of 2 minutes. And first of all, there are a couple on there that are like 2 minutes and 1 second. I think they should totally be
disqualified,
and they're pretty good, so they need to go.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I've watched. I mean, there are some amazing. I mean, if people like short films, this is a perfect opportunity to go watch some really great 2 minute horror shorts because there are some really good ones on there. So
Well, your idea was creative, and it definitely turned out well. So good job.
Good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I got lucky, and this is the first time I had an all female crew, which it just happened by circumstance that I wound up with all females working on my crew. I contacted Chelsea Casanova, who actually I worked with her on A Wedding Like That. She was a PA at that time, but since then she's worked and worked and worked and worked to create a craft for herself behind the camera. So I asked her if she would do cinematography and editing, and she nailed it. I mean, I would say, okay, I want this shot. I'd go back and because I was acting, so I'd go back and look at what she shot, and it was just exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
And that's rare to have that happen for me. So it was just like, wow, okay, moving on, next shot. It was that simple. And then we sat down to edit, and our minds were just like synced up, and it just flowed so well. So it was great. And she brought with her Kim Weber, who did sound for me, who had never done sound before. I think this was the first time that she actually did sound, but she had all the equipment and everything, knew how to use it. So we called her a gearhead because she has more gear than anybody I've ever seen. She's awesome. I mean, she had little I don't even know what they were. It's like, as long as you know what you're doing. doing. I'm not going to touch anything. And then Ray Hines was our PA, and she was amazing. I'd tell her something one time, and I'd never have to tell her again. She just did it, And it's just like, that never happens, Never happens. You're usually like, where is the PA,
Right.
It's like, are they still here? Did they go home?
Yeah.
So, yeah, great crew.
Yeah, well, and good experience for them, too.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Especially if you got the ones that you said, like, never had done anything like this before.
Yeah, well, Kim has been on set before, but she's usually behind the camera. She's a photographer. That's her trade.
Right.
So she's more used to being behind the camera. And she actually suggested one shot that that we wound up keeping because it looked so great. She just, it happened to be standing by the stairs. I'm walking up the staircase, and there was this creepy shadow that she noticed, and she's like, "We need to shoot that," and we kept it because it was beautiful. She was right. So she has a great eye. So
yeah, well, it's it's always good to have too much.
Exactly. I'm like, yeah, let's get it. It looks great. By just looking at it, it looks great. So let's get that shot.
It has to be 2 minutes. Maybe that extra couple seconds that gives you the.
Yeah, we actually. I mean, and for me, 2 minutes never really seemed that impossible because the script was like a page and a half. So I knew we'd be right around 2 minutes. I was more concerned about the fact that it had to be 100 megabytes, and I was like, that's really small. I was like, how do you do that? Well, and of course Chelsea knows how to do it. You just do this and do that and convert this and convert that, and it's just, you can tell I'm really technical.
And compress this and do this.
And exactly. And it was no problem. But I was more freaked out about that, and I was freaked out about finding the dolls, and that was super easy. I just walked into Kmart and there they were, just staring at me. Yeah.
Wow.
Literally just staring at me. I was just like, wow.
Now, did you have to edit the hair at all?
I had to cut the hair on the blonde.
Okay, I was going to say, because it matches. You're pretty close.
Yeah, I had to cut all of her hair off. She was pissed for like days. And, those bitches, I swear. They wanted everything. They wanted a trailer. Don't ever work with dolls. Jeez. So demanding.
She's a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
That's the second
total
time.
divas.
Yeah.
Second time you've been haunted by dolls.
It is. You are right. That's right. Done off by 2 dolls. Not many people can say that.
Not too many. Tony's, but it deflates.
I'll put helium in it. Makes it more exciting.
And then you have to chase her.
Come here,
on a string.
You settle down, miss. Alrighty, so we've lost it all and gone off the rails. Yeah. So what have you got coming up now?
What do I have coming up now? I have, which I'm just going to give you the scoop.
Oh. We're gonna get
you get the scoop. You get the scoop. I have, besides movies coming out, because Vaughn's Blood comes out August 1st on Blu-ray and DVD, and then I think it's like mid-August, a film that was released last year called Margot, that I did with Matthew Packman, out of Centralia, Illinois. His feature, Margot, will be released on DVD and VOD, and I had a small part in that, but it was like this amazing part. It was like some of the best words I've ever gotten to say. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. Just did some behind the scenes stuff for him on that. So that comes out, and currently I just, as of yesterday, finished my next script for my next short film. And it's a horror comedy, which I've been wanting to do for a really, really long time. I will tell you guys that it is set in a bowling alley. So I've been doing a lot of research on bowling.
Do you have a place to shoot yet?
Do you have a location?
I have my eye on one. Why do you know?
My wife is the manager for the Diamond Lanes bowling alleys here in town.
You got to be kidding me.
Nope.
And I have a location. I'll be shooting here in Owensboro at Diamond Lanes. It's
after the podcast, we'll let you talk to Tony.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, that was just you said
that
was
worked.
Like...
yeah, you both looked at each other and I'm like, what? What did I just say?
That was good for you.
That worked really well for me. You're right.
So, because we were talking about a horror movie needs to be filmed in a bowling alley.
We did say
and
that.
I just happened to have one. So anyway, it is called Ebola.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't say much more than that.
We don't want you to give anything away or any plot.
It's very, low hanging fruit comedy. So, very sophomoric and very funny. And I actually currently have a named actor who is really, really interested and loves the script, and so hopefully he will come and do this for me. I don't know, I guess I can say this, Jim Doherty. I don't know if you know who Jim Doherty is. He's amazing. He actually is in Atlanta. He works between Atlanta and Indy at all times, but he's just amazing. He comes down and does acting classes here.
Cool.
He runs Indie Actors Academy up in Indianapolis, and then he does Side 8 Studios down in Atlanta where he teaches, but he was just in House of Cards.
Wow.
And in the first episode this past season, he's just in this Ozarks that's just started up.
I've heard so many good things.
I have too. I haven't watched it yet. Chicago PD. He's done so many things. He's just absolutely amazing, but he's also amazing behind the camera too. And he was just down about a month or so ago doing an acting class for us at Carriage House, and he loved the idea. We kind of pitched in the idea, and he loved it and said he wanted to shoot and edit it. And when he says, when Jim Doherty says he wants to shoot and edit your movie, you go, yes, I will get that script to you tomorrow. And pretty much did. I wrote like crazy. Actually, we went on a cruise about a month ago now, and I actually wrote this script while we were on the cruise.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's fun. It's so much fun. I can't wait to do it. It's hilarious. I think it is, at least. And
so
it's a lot of fun.
So let's see if we can help you out maybe some. So you're gonna have, I guess, as you get ready.
Now all this is gonna fall apart as soon as I walk out of this door because I mentioned it. So I've been sitting on it pretty tight. So, but yeah.
But it's something you eventually you're gonna cast for it. You'll have some kind of open casting call, maybe.
Yes, I will. I can tell you, I am gonna need hordes of women.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
And it's the main characters are men, but I pretty much have those cast at this point.
Cool.
Fingers crossed that
So I guess on your to find out more information eventually as you release it, you release that on Facebook.
On Carriage House Productions Facebook page.
Okay, and I'll have that in the links.
Absolutely, and on my page on Facebook, which I post everything public on that page.
Fantastic, cool. Well, we'll have both those links in the show notes so that people can hopefully.
But we're hoping to do that by the end of the year, get it shot, so that
that'd be
it's
great
out next year. Yeah, but I've been wanting to do a horror comedy for a really long time because, like, Young Frankenstein is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
It is my favorite movie ever. I mean, as far as just if it's on, I will stop at everything and just watch it type movie. And I saw one last year. No, April. I saw it in April at Alhambra called Born Again, done by a guy in Columbus, Ohio, I think is where Jason is at. If you ever get a chance, it's called Born Again. It's a short horror film, but it's a horror comedy, and it was so good. It was perfect, and I'm like, I got to do this. I'm just not going to be as good as his, but because I think his is perfect. I really do, and I told him that too. I sent him an email. It's perfect. This nothing's ever going to be, and it wins every award, no matter where it's at. It wins, and it deserves it because it's absolutely amazing.
Bluka. I'm sorry.
I can't make a horse sound or I would whinny over here for you.
So when you're searching, don't forget that two guys that act like they can be podcasters that are dying to be killed on film.
I might have to just.
We're pretty much to the begging
I might have to
now.
find a way to put you guys in just so I can kill you off somehow.
We've begged PJ and Eric to kill us somehow.
You keep annoying them; they're gonna kill you for
now.
real.
I'm just gonna have to write a short story about two podcasters that get killed. I
don't know if you want to do that.
Some psycho actress comes in to do a podcast with them, and then just out of nowhere, she pulls out a machete.
Like it.
Hey, what is that
you won't in about 5 minutes. No.
Oh no!
Oh my God,
exactly.
Doc.
And we'll have Henry Cavill play Tony, and I'm just kidding. All right then. We've gone off off the rails. Yay! But
well,
but
if I
that's
get
awesome.
to use the bowling alley, you guys are more than welcome to come and hang out anytime you want.
Oh,
So,
we-
you can broadcast live from the bowling alley.
We shoot some behind the scenes for you. How's
Absolutely.
that?
That would be great.
To put on there, that'd be great. Yeah, we do it for fun, shits and giggles.
Yeah, that would
we
be
definitely we come do some was it PA work?
Yeah, we like behind the scenes stuff because I mean, I'm my great acting in the two movies I was in.
What were you in besides hellisfull?
Spirit Stalker.
Oh, you were in Spirit Stalkers too.
For
Okay.
like 2 seconds maybe in the very very far background, just passing through.
Don't like belittle yourself. Extras are so important. I mean, so important.
I almost had an anxiety attack during Hell is Full because I didn't know anything. Like Steve's just like, here, we're gonna sit you right here, and just sit there, and this guy's gonna walk by, and he's really sick, blah blah blah. So I found a magazine. I'm like, cool, people in waiting rooms have magazines. So I'm looking at one page, and every take, I'm like, oh god, I gotta turn back to that page, or somebody's gonna notice.
Somebody's gonna
Because
notice that
that's the
stuff.
weird
They
things I
will. They
notice.
will notice that.
So one time I went one too many far back, and I was like,
You're like, where's that page?
I just fucked up this whole scene because I'm not on the right page. Not even realizing that
Fire
the
him.
really
Oh wait, we're
nowhere
not
near
paying
me.
him yet.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I don't think I could do acting because just that little bit of me really doing
Stressed you
nothing.
out
Just
too
I was
much.
just like, man, I'm gonna ruin this whole scene. This dude's gonna tell me to get the hell out of the hospital. He's gonna be mad as hell.
No, I
But it was
don't
fun.
do that
Though.
around.
It was really fun.
It is fun. Absolutely. it
Exactly.
is.
Yeah.
That's why we do it. When it stops being fun, that's when you stop.
yeah.
Earlier this year, I stopped because I was like, it stopped being fun. So I stopped for a little while.
Well, I'm glad you got back into it.
Yeah, I took a deep breath and shook everything off. And,
Right.
And yeah, and I needed to be inspired again, and I was. So I'm back at it.
And you never
fantastic.
worried about
Glutton for punishment.
the stigma of being associated with horror movies. 'Cause a lot of people just
not.
a lot of people are like, it's horror movies. It's always so low
bullshit.
grade, and
Oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Man, they can stick it.
that's how I feel. I mean, horror movies to me are the greatest movies ever. But for some reason,
agree.
people say that they're not top shelf movies, and that never made any sense to me.
I totally disagree with that. I mean, for me, it's weird because I'm not big on blood and guts. I mean, I've done a lot of blood and guts, but for me, the kind that I do myself or that I'm more attracted to are psychological thrillers. I enjoy doing those, and to me, that's dramatic acting at its best. It's a challenge. I mean, Widow. For those who haven't seen it, I play somebody that has dissociated disorder, where you're split personality, basically. I was like trying to think, what do they call it? Split personality. My other half would have known that. And it was a challenge. It was a serious challenge to do that, and I studied it, and to me that's a challenge. That's something I want to do. And most horror movies are very dramatic, and it's very, very tough stuff, very physical. So yeah, it's crap. And I've done other things. I've done Christian film. I didn't particularly enjoy it, but I did do it. I wasn't real, I wasn't real thrilled with the results. For me myself, I would just rather sit down and watch a horror movie. And when I'm flipping through Netflix or whatever, that's what I look for. It's either a comedy or it's horror at any given moment. So
We're the same way a lot too. I mean, I like all kinds of movies, from superhero movies to
and I'm like
and stuff.
sick of superhero movies. Although I loved Wonder Woman, I thought it was
great,
awesome. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm just sick of superhero movies. If they stopped making it, I would stand up and applaud.
Marvel,
but that's
gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen. I know, and I just lost you guys all kinds of people coming to your site. They're like, they're hating on superhero movies.
Not at all. Everybody likes different things.
They
That's just
do,
the way it is.
absolutely. And there's a lot of people that love superhero movies.
And
I, like I said, I enjoyed Wonder Woman.
And we love the horror movies, and a lot of stuff that you do, like I said, has the horror element to it. And
I prefer that. I kind of got away from it for a while. I mean, it was really a couple years that there were no horror movies that I was doing, and I missed it. And then Volumes of Blood happened, It Lives in the Attic happened, and then I made Out of My Mind, which is
pull me right back in.
But it was like coming home. It was great. It was just like, man, I miss doing this.
Well, you did a great job in the ones that we've seen.
Well, thank you.
I mean, seriously, because I mean, it's it was like you said, it was a long day.
It was the first day was like 18 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
But and it was a lot of stress because Justin and Zane were in from Pennsylvania, so they just didn't have a lot of time. So we just had to get it done. But they were great to work with.
And some of the scenes were in the basement,
right?
Which was not
most
exactly
of them were.
Well, it's
felt like we were cave dwellers by the time we came out. It's like, is that the sun? What is that?
It looked good on film, but it was still
really
it was a real functioning rough dirt floor basement, so it was not easy to get around.
Exactly.
And dirty.
And now I'm cracking my water bottle. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Oh goodness. You got anything else?
Me?
I think we woke him up.
I had something, but I forgot what you were talking.
I'm sorry, I do that to him a lot.
So I gave you the scoop, so you guys know about Ebola. It's out there now. So
got the scoop.
Yeah, you got the scoop. Nobody else knows.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
You are very welcome.
And like I said, we're going to have links on our website to get to your website and to get to your Facebook, so that everybody.
Yeah, I have a website too. I forgot about that.
Don't worry,
I am horrible about. I mean, because I actually did the website to force myself to do a blog because I hate to write, which I hate to say that because I've written some scripts, but I have to physically force myself to write because I'm not a writer, and I'll have all these great ideas, but then I'm like, crap, now I got to sit down and write this. I want to write this. So yeah, I actually started that website so I would do a blog, and knowing it was there, it would force me to I gotta go do that.
What's your web address?
It is www.actress/Cindy/Maples.com because that was available.
Right.
Apparently, there was another Cindy Maples out there who just had to have my website.
Curse her. That's okay. We're gonna have that in our
get
show notes
her
as well
and her
too.
Pretty little dog too. But yeah, it's got links to everything on that page. Trailers and demo reels and
fantastic
pictures and behind the scenes, and my blog that I actually update every couple months.
There you go.
All the good stuff in one place.
All the good stuff. Cindy, thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
David.
being
and thank you, Tony.
We really appreciate you being on.
I appreciate you asking me. This is so much fun.
Oh, it's great, and hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Absolutely,
and,
anytime.
And if this bowling alley horror movie thing happens,
we're gonna broadcast live from the bowling alley. We're totally gonna do that.
We could do that. We could definitely do
a Facebook Live podcast.
Ooh.
Stay tuned for that.
Yes, that's gonna happen.
I do have one thing though.
Yeah.
We did.
He remembered what it was.
Well, we did a podcast with our friend. He's an independent wrestling referee, Brian McCormick.
Okay.
And one of my coworkers always watches our podcast on YouTube.
Right.
And the first thing she said to me when I got back to work was, "How drunk were you?" So, Sarah Casey, water. Not drunk at all.
Drink it. It looks like vodka. Actually, I don't think that's water. It was open when I got here. I'm pretty sure it's vodka.
Yeah,
he's lying.
And I mean, I may or may not have been drinking a big 40 of malt liquor.
And I'm not gonna lie. Next time, I think there needs to be alcohol involved. I think this might be much more interesting.
What?
He's drunk.
You're coming back, Cindy. You've got yourself back on another podcast.
I'll bring the alcohol. We need to do it drunk next time.
I agree.
We can do that because it's our show.
That's right.
Heck yeah.
So don't forget to check us out at outbreakpodcast.com. All the show notes and everything will be there as well. Plus, this is going to be obviously on iTunes and on YouTube. I'm going to look at Tony.
We got a YouTube channel. Don't
exactly because this is
subscribe to them on YouTube.
Exactly.
I've done it. You should.
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Oh,
too.
you're welcome.
Appreciate that. Yeah. So awesome. Well, thanks for joining us on this episode of Escape Pod.
You did it.
I know I did.
We have an outro that says the same exact thing. We just talked
don't
about
say
it.
that.
And overmap myself.
Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.
See you. Bye.
He said as soon as we sit down, I got to remember not to say
that.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Escape Pod. If you enjoyed it, please like the episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you would like to be a part of future podcasts, then email us at outbreakpodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to visit our website, outbreakpodcast.com, for more episodes, show notes, photos, and other podcasts on the Outbreak Podcasting Network. That's outbreakpodcast.com.